that's nothing compared to what I'm gonna do to you.
Okay, I gotta admit, that was humorous.
I bet there's a line of guys dying to pluck that. Your mom, too.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Swallow this.
John, Mr. Arrow in the Head. Here we are, back once again, back from VidCon.
Yeah.
Talking about the 80s, buddy. How you been? Well, I mean, I've seen you, so you're fine.
You saw me like 4 days ago. I like the fact that I have no watch, but 4 days ago. I miss you already, bro. And we're going to, tackle one of my favorite 80s horror/comedy movies. But before we sink our teeth into it, see that? You seen it?
That's
what are you drinking, bro?
Well, it's a little melted, but I made myself an old-fashioned.
Nice. Respect. Because I live in the middle of nowhere, but, I just got some red wine. That's it.
Hey, man,
which is appropriate because it's a movie about vampires, right?
I said, I love what you love. I just like to switch it up. Variety is what makes me happy.
Oh, thank you, sir. You're old-fashioned. And to all of you, thank you so much for all the support.
It stood over here.
Hello, my friend! Hey!
Before we jump into Fright Night 1985, Tom Holland with the great Chris Sarandon, I just want to mention we have a phone number, toll-free phone number. You call us, you leave a message, give us suggestions, comments, whatnot. Last week, we got a lot of messages, all 4 of them. So stay till the end of the show because Lance and I, of course, we're going to address the messages for you and keep them coming, man. We love this shit. Like straight up, dude, I love this shit. I love interacting with the people that watch our sorry asses. It's like I got more and more friends, more and more buddies. It's awesome. So keep them coming, guys and dolls.
Right, in 1985.
Yeah. Tom Holland's first directorial effort. He had made a horror movie. I don't remember the name, but he had written, and he was so disappointed with the end result. That's what prompted him to want to direct, hence Fright Night.
Yeah, he wanted to, essentially protect his story.
Mm-hmm. Nah, that's the best fucking thing, man. You're going to write something, you want it done well or to your liking, direct it. So good on you, Tom.
Same happened with Clive Barker. I remember Rawhead Rex was such a
and the other one there, what was the other one called? Clive Barker is like a weird, like a guy with a deformed face or...
I never saw it. It looks really cheap and cheesy. Yeah. So I was like, I'm more into the darker stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think those two together. So same thing. And I mean, Tom Holland would go on to do some great stuff. So
I've always loved Fright Night. And watching it again recently, I still love Fright Night. It's just a solid little piece of entertainment draped in a beautiful, I can't think of a word, coated in a beautiful coat of 80s nostalgia, First of all, I love the camera work and I love the atmosphere of the picture. Like the opening is like this long tracking shot, no cuts, which I really appreciated. Then there's the triple Jared Dandridge shot when he looks up and he smiles at Charlie and it goes, dun, dun, dun. Fucking love that shit. They had a really well-oiled and functional smoke machine. So, which, evoked, the old-fashioned kind of like the Hammer. It's like evoked the Hammer films mood, if you will, but transposed into an 80s settings. Well, obviously, I'm sure Peter Vincent was going to be played by Vincent Price from the Hammer films. So, of course, Roddy McDowall wound up playing him. And, he was just fucking excellent. What else you want me to say, man? Jerry Dandridge, Chris Sarandon, like borderline being able to make any straight man gay, just as to how suave and charming and charismatic that he is, with his fucking red scarf and the trench coat, eating apples, which was a Chris Sarandon idea. Chris Sarandon, actually, just by the way, guys and dolls, Chris Sarandon had a very bad experience shooting this horror film called The Sentinel. So when he was offered Fright Night, and I got another fucking horror movie, fuck that, man, I'm out. I want nothing to do with it. But then he finally read the script and he responded. But in terms of the script, from what I know, and I don't know everything, not yet, but I'm working on it. From what I know, he added a lot to the Jared Dandridge character. So the apple, that was his idea, because he learned that fruit bats, after they eat, like, let's say a fucking mouse or some shit, they eat fruits to cleanse their palate. So he's like, well, he's eating peeps. So, that's why the apple, and stuff like that. It was really important for Sarandon, from what I know, to humanize him, to not make him just a villain. And it came out in bits of dialogues. Like this one bit that really struck me on this watch, when he confronts Charlie in his bedroom. He says, look, dude, I didn't have a choice.
Choice. Forget about me, Charlie.
But I'm giving you one. And if it was me and he's got me by the throat, I think that's what was happening in the scene. Don't quote me on it. I didn't have a choice. I'm a fucking vampire, but I'm giving you a choice. Fuck off. I'm going to fucking whack you. I'd be like, bro, all good. I'll step back.
Funny. I actually took it as like he says it, but then he immediately tries to kill the kid.
Well, he's intimidating him. Look, this guy's in his business, all right? Fuck off. And I'm paraphrasing. Of course, Jared Dandridge wouldn't say.
I'm saying I don't think he's going to fuck off. I think he's going to say that, give the guy, he's going to cool down and come back in the back door and just like.
I disagree.
You don't survive that long by letting little fucking teenagers walk around and talk. Would have killed the kid.
No, dude, he showed up in his room, threatened him, and basically, you're totally negating what I got from the fucking moment.
I'm disagreeing. I actually took the opposite.
But you're wrong and I'm right. We all know this. Everybody knows this.
I never saw the scene where he lets him go and lets him live, so I'm assuming he's trying to kill him.
No, he jammed the fucking pencil in his fucking hand.
Yes. As he's like
the mistake. That's the mistake Charlie Brewster did. All he had to do, he's like, I don't have a choice. You do. And he should have said, you got it, bro. I'll stay out of your business. I'll go about my day, bang my well, try to bang, because that guy can't get no play. He's too busy, popping wood for Jared Dandridge across the fucking street, or next to him, his neighbor, yeah? That's a whole other thing, the gay subtext. We'll talk about that later, if you caught any of it. So for me, that humanized the character. It's not black and white. There was little gray zones, but eventually when Brewster won't back down, then, Dandridge has no choice.
Okay. I mean, I didn't get that. I thought he was, it's fun. I guess I watched this again. And I agree with a lot of things, actually. One, how slick and smooth the Sarandon is in this. Like, I mean, I know it, but as I get older, I'm like, dude, this guy has it. Like, if I sounded like him, my life would be a million times better.
A bit with Evil Ed, when he corners him into an alley. He's on the ground, he's towering above him, and he says something along the lines, I know how it is to be different. Which, a lot of people have said it's I talked about the gay subtext, that it's an analogy to, being gay and being different and not being accepted. I know how it is to be different, take my hand. They won't laugh at you anymore. They won't bully you anymore. He takes a hand, whatever. That's a nice moment for Jerry. He could have been an asshole, just took the motherfucker. He could have just went down the alley, fucking pop behind him, bite him, call it all the best love and kisses. But he doesn't do that. He appeals to him.
He's smooth. That's why. Yes. It's funny. I don't know. I guess I didn't take as much as he's a good person. It's just like he's learned to talk well. He's going to survive by charm. That's what I got out of this. But I mean, no, it's a cool little moment because basically he tells the guy, he's like, hey, you're a loser, but hey, come with me, man. Come with me. I'll fix it.
I'll make you a winner. Yeah. Not to take any away from William Ragsdale. Who, by the way, Charlie Sheen auditioned for that role. And Mr. Holland said, you look too much like a hero. He wanted a nerd, not fucking.
Charlie Sheen has an intense look with his eyebrows.
Yeah.
It's the kind of guy that might actually start a fight.
Dude, his entire performance in Platoon are those eyebrows.
Yeah, well, eyebrows are a lot
to take a shit or something, Yeah, exactly.
I just watched Hot Shots for the 100th time, and I was like,
Great movie.
He still has it. But I mean, Ragsdale's great. I mean, there's a couple of things that are goofy, but it's for the plot's purpose. Obviously, like he wants to get laid, and then the second he sees like a dead body or he sees a coffin, he immediately is like, I don't care. It's like, you're like 16. He plays that like charming young sort of like wistful kid really well. And even in the sequel in college, he has that same sort of innocence. I think it works really well. It's a good balance between the suave Sarandon and the kind of goofy, in over his head Vincent. Well, even it's funny. I used to work at this outdoor mall, and one of the guys that worked for the mall security, he was a security guy, but he like worked in the office, looked and sounded exactly like him.
Very funny, Brewster.
And I was like, hey, you ever see Fright Night? He's like, no. I'm like, oh, it's a good movie. That's it. Just like hoping to push him towards it. So hopefully one day he sat down, watched it, and was like, oh my God, I'm this guy. Yeah, but I'm long gone. Like I just wanted to make sure that I set this guy in the right course of life so he actually sees Fright Night. But I got to be honest, he's good in the movie, and I like him as his weird. I know people can say it's not a werewolf. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's a beast thing.
No, he's turned into a vampire because vampires could shapeshift. So he becomes a wolf when he gets whacked. That's the way I read it. Yeah,
but I'm saying that's an all cool part. I just want to clear that up because I remember I've seen comments on other videos we've done. They're like, that's not a werewolf. I'm like, what? I didn't read it. But he got a little on my nerves this rewatch. Maybe it's just my mindset. Maybe because I didn't realize how suave Sarandon was, but he's like, I'm like, shut up a little, man.
Yeah, you're a dick, dude, because
I guess.
I wasn't going to bring it up. I was actually going to put it on the side. But now you brought it up. I got to say the same thing. When the scene we talked about before, when he's in the alley with Sarandon and, he's obviously distraught, fucking sold because I bought it. His emotional state, I bought it.
But he was
but when he's quote unquote normal on this watch, and this is as a grown 25-year-old man, I didn't buy the character. I just didn't buy the character.
He stood out. He's a little more cartoony, where everything else. I mean, I'm not saying it's not embellished in some ways, but he didn't fit as well. Maybe because we're older, we're a little more annoyed by people like that. When I was younger, it didn't. It could be that. I mean, but, as we grow and watch ways we change. But I thought I was like, nothing that even I would even take a point off the movie.
Not really.
But I'm just saying, like, if I'm picking a character Sarandon kicks ass. Marcy Darcy kicks ass. I have to refer to as that Ragsdale, Charlie Brewster. Like they all have a cool little thing together. And then there's the kid that he's almost like Miller in the Flash. He just keeps talking. It's like
definitely. Actually, before I jump into the music, which is always exciting for me to talk to you about music because we're so polar opposites, fucking stupid. I want to talk about Dandridge's
roommate,
guardian, if you will.
The roommate. He calls him his roommate in the movie.
His bum buddy. So
yeah. They're in love for sure.
Dude, did you notice the shot after Dandridge gets the pen in his fucking thing, and then at some point we see them through the window, and the roommate is bandaging his hand, and he gets on his knees, and it looks like he's gonna blow him. And I was like, what? And then I rewound. What's going on here? Oh. And I did some research, obviously, before the show, and it was on purpose by Holland. At first he was just bandaging, helping Jerry to heal. Although that's weird because don't vampires just heal by themselves?
Yeah, I mean, I'd assume he just kind of waited out.
Yeah.
I don't need yeah.
And then Holland directed them, you know what? Just get on your knees, bro. Like Holland knew what he was doing. Like the gay subtext was not accidental, with Dandridge. Well, vampires are basically asexual, so it's not like they're the gay or bi. They'll do anything, but it was on purpose. And I was like, this is the first time I caught it. I never I didn't
put it together,
registered
honestly.
That bit, but
I've always thought they were a gay couple. Even I think I saw this maybe in high school. I shouldn't see this as a little kid for some reason, but I remember I caught along for, I always just thought they were like lovers, it's even the movie.
I have never seen it. There's only like before the shot, the shot I'm talking about, getting on his knees, which suggests a blowjob.
Yes.
The only shot that hinted at them being a gay couple is when that's the only shot. Other than that, he's like his handyman, his
Drew a grown man. I mean, he took it real personal when that guy died. Like, dude, that's like the kind of stuff like if your wife is shot. But remember the mom tells Brewster like, oh,
with my luck. Yeah,
he's pretty. With my luck, he's probably gay, and like that's something I don't remember catching. And I was like, oh, they actually just completely threw that ball was already out there. I think it makes up for a cool thing. And being that Sarandon's so damn suave in this, it's like I hope he's gay because it's like, man, as a man, I'm not even living up to fictional characters in 1985. It's like,
it's the turtleneck, baby.
Yeah, I mean, he's just
if you wear a turtleneck and you pull it off like Sarandon did, well, there you go.
Well,
man.
full head of hair. I'm bald. If I won't look as good in a turtleneck.
You look.
But I mean, even the club scene, which I know we're going to talk about soon. The club scene is the other Terminator scene, where the Terminator comes in guns blazing. But Sarandon, same thing, wants her and wants her turn, which is essentially dead, but does it with a smile and a wink. I'm like, oh, look at you.
Remember the first doorman that steps up to him?
Yeah, the big guy.
Yeah. He was in a Friday the 13th movie.
I don't remember.
It was either, I'm pretty sure he was in part 3.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. A little chunkier than he was in the Friday the 13th movie, but it's the same dude. Yeah, no, I love the club scene, when she's dancing, the reflection in the mirror, he's not there. Yeah, he's like in full pimp Mac Daddy mode. Like, you cannot resist him. That's for sure. Actually, funnily enough, my chick, that's her it's the only movie I rewatched it with her a couple of nights ago that she knows by heart.
That's cool.
She knows by heart. And I was very impressed because she's like a casual movie fan, but not Fright Night. Fright Night she knew by heart. So I got her for her birthday video from Chris Sarandon wishing her happy birthday. She fucking lost it. So a win for Johnny. The music. The music was composed, by the way, by Brad Fiedel.
Great score.
He was hired.
Great score.
Tom Holland actually hired him based on his work on The Terminator. But I also am a big fan of the pop songs.
Of course you are.
Yeah. So he's a good man in a bad time. Great song. Actually, that's a song I think that plays during the club scene. And then there's the armies of the night are calling. Dun-na-na. I don't know the lyrics. Dun-na-na-na-na. So big ups on the pop 80s, full-on 80s, no apology songs that this film had to offer. And even, the score dun-na-na, is also a song, Come to Me. Also sang by Brad Fiedel. I did not know that. I found that out recently. That he sang the song too, come to me.
Oh, he's a singer, is what you're telling me.
Well, I don't know if he is, but he sang the fucking song.
Well, I can't judge because all of them sounded terrible to me.
The motherfucker was a singer, but he sang that song. That's all I could tell you. Did he sing it great? Well, you tell me. I just work here, bro.
I'm not the person to ask. Because even when it's good people that you love, like Shocker, a lot of Shocker was rough for me. So I don't know, man. It all sounds the same. It's a ba-da-ba-ba.
Dude, that's Paul Stanley singing Shocker, man.
The dorky guy from Kiss?
The dorky.
I hate Kiss. I mean, they're very generic fucking songs that are good for arenas and some pyrotechnics. Love what you love, man. But nobody's coming to this house and putting Kiss up. Like, you could fight.
Dude, when I come to your house, I'm going to tie you to a fucking chair and I'll play fucking all of Kiss's fucking discography, man.
I'll give you, just the extended olive branch share, is their version of God Gave Rock and Roll to You from Bill and Ted Spoken Skirt, Bonus Shirt. I love that song. I'll give you that. I don't even think it's theirs. I think it's a cover. So
it is a cover. But you don't like Love Gun? Dude, you nowhere. Wait. Nowhere to hide, and baby, nowhere to run. She can't hide, she can't run, because you just pulled the trigger of my. Love Gun. Get it? His dick.
Yeah, I feel like the 80s,
Genius. Genius.
Rock's lyrics were just very. I love. Who am I? I'm just a guy that loves music. That's all.
Okay, so we talked about everything. Sarandon owning the scenery. The only person we really didn't get into is we talked about Evil Ed. We talked about William Ragsdale, who did fine. We didn't talk about Roddy McDowall as Peter Vincent, because he gives like a really, really engaging, affable performance. He plays basically a coward, like in real life, not in real life, but as the character is a coward. And through the events of the film, his arc is he becomes brave.
Yeah, he becomes the real vampire hunter.
McDowall actually inspired himself to play Peter Vincent on the Cowardly Lion in Wizard of Oz.
That's fine. I mean, I love him. I think it's great. He's the rug that ties the room together. You're Peter Vincent, vampire hunter, and he walks up to the stairs. It's like that's the moment of redemption. It's a cool little arc. And he's charming. That's why in part 2, they brought him back. It's like, well, we need him and Brewster together. They're a tag team. So.
Actually, that's one angle we didn't really talk about is the suspense of the film, because there are some really potent suspenseful bits, especially in the let's try to figure out, Dandridge is a vampire or not. Like the scene when he sees, that he has no reflection in his prop mirror from one of his movies, and he drops it. And then, I remember there was like a music cue that kind of like really played into the scene. And of course, I knew what was going to happen. I've seen it a million times, but I'm like, that's well done. And then, later on, Dandridge steps on a piece of broken mirror and then, puts it together that this fucking guy knows. Well done. Really well done, man.
Yeah, no, listen, I agree. I think it's one of those things you see it so many times, it's kind of hard to pinpoint. Like, I don't think of it as suspense though, but you're right though. You're correct. I just think of it as like it's just a tight script. Like that's like they're doing well.
We've
like
seen
everything's
it a
set
million
up.
times.
I know, but that's so hard. Like at this point, it's hard for me to go back. But no, everything's set up, everything's delivered. It's never too fast. It's like he's watching, Dandrige or Sarandon. I keep switching names. Just call him. I like Sarandon better. Like he's like sleeping. He's like taking that girl's clothes off and her bra off, and like he looks straight at Brewster.
Charlie.
Yeah,
he's there with his fucking binoculars.
Yeah, he's like, we both know, and then he has his like long, creepy hands that pulls it down. But he still goes through with it. He's like, I got to finish off. But I mean, like that's suspenseful. But at this point in my life, I'm like, that's just a great scene. It's framed well. It's cool. Like it delivers all the information, but in a way that's just not just sitting there in a fucking wide.
Well, that's another, like that scene, where, she goes topless. Charlie's there being a peeping Tom, and then he sees him and then, that thing. It reminds me that the entire movie is very horny.
Oh, yes.
It's a very horny movie. And I could relate to that because I'm a very horny person.
What I forgot this round is so after that part, he knows something's up, right? So he's spying on Sarandon. Yeah. And he was like waiting for him in his binoculars and he falls asleep. And Holland does a pan to the floor, the TV, and then the floor up to Brewster. And on the floor is an open porno mag, a bunch of snacks, and like 5 cans of pop. And so it's like, okay, so really Brewster was spying on his neighbor. Nothing happened. Rubbed a quick one out, ate a bunch of food, drank a couple pops, and crashed and took a nap.
So yeah, it's a very horny movie as a whole, and I respected that about it.
Well, the 80s were horny. I missed that. That was fun.
Yeah, I agree. Before I give my cap off, when Tom Holland did the film, the studio had 2 bigger films going on at the same time. And, the way it works, guys and dolls, is that you make a movie for a studio. You got studio suits all up in your ass on set, producers showing up on set, execs showing up on set, supervising you, telling you this, telling you that. Just ask, Fox, who are notorious for that, especially with the Alien franchise. Ask David Fincher. He knows about that. But when Tom Holland did Fright Night, which was a smaller movie, Tom Holland's first time directing, it's a small little bitch movie. They had 2 big movies going. They did all that shit in those 2 movies. So they actually left Holland alone. And he felt very grateful for that. They let me do what the fuck I wanted to do. And I truly believe that's why Fright Night OG is such a great film, because it's an auteur piece. It's not personal film where it's about his life, but it's obvious, he wrote it, he's directing it, and he didn't have, monkeys in suits in his way. And that's one of the reasons why I believe Fright Night is so good today. I'll end up with two things. Number one, Fright Night or Lost Boys? You.
Oh, Fright Night. I really enjoy Lost Boys, but it's a lot more like 80s, where this I feel is more my vibe. But I love Lost Boys. I do. I own it. It's really
Yeah.
But I prefer Fright Night. I'm assuming you're a Lost Boys or Fright Night person.
I have to rewatch Lost Boys again. We'll have to do a show on Lost Boys for me to be able to give you a firm answer. Number two, Fright Night 2011 remake, Colin Farrell. Your quick thoughts real fast?
Colin Farrell. I love Colin Farrell, actually. I generally do. I think he has the worst agent in Hollywood. I mean, he's doing better now. But every time he's in something, even the movie sucks, is great. That movie's got awful. Even with the poor kid who passed, who's actually really charming in it. He was great. He was great in The Green Room. If you ever saw that with the Nazis.
Yeah, no, it's shit compared to the OG, but it tried to do it different. So it's always like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. Like, Dandridge in the OG is suave, charming, whatever. Dandridge, as played by Farrell in the remake,
it's just like,
it's
like
threatening, white trashy, whatever. I will say this about the Fright Night remake, because it was 2011, and I just remember one scene. I'm going to put a fucking clip of it on principle. It's a scene where he goes up to Brewster's house wanting a case of beer, and he keeps calling him Guy. Hey, Guy.
We showed this, I think, in the episode for Fright Night 2. I think you brought this up, yeah.
Well, I bring it up again. And then he says something like that, your girlfriend, Amy, she's ripe. There's got to be a lineup of dudes wanting to pluck that. And then he turns to him, and your mom, too. What the fuck?
And your girl, Amy, she's ripe. I bet there's a line of guys dying to pluck that. Your mom, too.
Guys, well, I guess that leaves us to the 888 questions or concerns, or probably some you don't know. So we're going to kind of listen to them live and figure it out. Okay, so this first one, John, is from a Justin Rigsby. I should say this. If you want me to say your name, email us. I could we could be anonymous, but it says it. So, we'll go from there.
Hey, guys. Rigsby calling. Just wanted to kind of had an idea I thought I'd throw out there. I was curious as to how John and Lance, you guys, think about if you ever had the chance to have a hand in the script writing or story process for a franchise movie, a horror franchise movie that you really are invested in. What direction would you like to see that story take with the horror icon? So, for instance, if you were given a chance to write a Friday the 13th movie, what direction would you like to see that the character of Jason take, or the story take, and apply that to any other horror property you may have in mind, but name something, I guess, that you would really like to be involved in and see a story take a specific direction, or a direction with the character. Thanks, guys, as always. Enjoy the channel. Keep them coming.
Okay, John, I'm going to let you take this one first. I obviously, with, my giant banner from Freddy vs. Jason over there, I think I know where I land, but where do you land?
For me, it would be Jason. So good call, Rigsby. I've always wanted to be involved in the Friday the 13th franchise, because it's a meat and potatoes franchise to me. And for me, the ingredients to create a dish that is delicious are so simple. Number one, I would, as many fans have been clamoring for a long time, set it in winter. I'd love to see fucking Jason in the snow. Number two, I want tits and ass. You gotta have tits and ass. A Friday the 13th movie, in my opinion, like Part 8, I'll use Part 8. I would make a Friday the 13th movie as smutty as can be, being that, we live in the times that we live now. Equal opportunity, man. Put some schlongs in there. I don't give a fuck. Put some dudes' asses, abs, chest, whatever. But I want tits and ass, female tits and ass, 100%. Make it as exploitive as can be. 2, make it as gory as can be, but all practical. All practical. So Jason in the snow, zombie Jason in the snow, practical, nudity up the ass. So that's what I would do. What about you, bro?
I always view Jason as just a Power Ranger. He's like Zed. He's just some guy that I was always on his side. I never once was like, oh, Jason, he's back. I'm like, nah, I voted for him. So here's my pitch. There's something I really love that came out right after Batman Begins. There's like this cool, I got a DVD of it. It's like a cartoon called Gotham Knight. And it's these kids telling a story, and they're all told from the perspective of these kids. So Batman changes. So I would love to do something like that, where there's these kids stuck in like something in the snow, right? And Jason is killing his way getting towards him. He's been chasing him. That's going to be Ken Hodder. That's going to be the wraparound story. And we could cut back to it a couple of times to kind of meet it out. But as they're sitting there, I want them to kind of talk about like Jason, how it's affected, existence. And everyone that tells a story, I want to be a different Jason. So I want Derek Myers to come back, the faster of crazy Jason. I want a human Jason. I want the different kinds.
Dude, high concept. Go for it. I like my Jason more meat and potatoes, simple. It's a very, simple structure. That's personally the way I like it. But hey, there you have it.
Okay, next is Harry from Detroit, my old stomping ground. That's not true, but we're very close, actually. Or one of our coworkers from Michigan. You guys got bells, so rock it out.
Hey, John and Lance, you bald bastards. Just kidding. I love the show. This is Harry from Detroit, Michigan. I've been marathoning through the Arrow in the Head show on YouTube on my tablet while I'm at work at the hospital in downtown Detroit. I do billing and coding, so I get bored during the day, and your guys' show has been a revelation. It helps me get through the day billing and coding. I got a fun hypothetical question for you guys. What supernatural horror icon or villain or slasher do you think you can most easily defeat? It can't be a simple one like Pinhead and say, oh, I just want to open the box. You actually have to defeat them in a conventional means. Mine, I would go with Chucky, just because I'm a 31-year-old man and I don't see a doll beating me in a fight. But what horror villain or icon do you think you could easily defeat in a fight? Love the show. Keep up the great work.
Oh, that's easy. Okay. Chucky's an easy one. I'm going to fight you on that because
whoa. Bald bastards.
I mean, we are. We're both bald.
We're not bastards. I think offend some bastards. No, I'm just kidding, man.
I was going to say, I say something bitch all the time.
Bald and proud, baby.
I feel Chucky's an easy one. I'm going to say this. I can defeat Michael Myers. Not by hand, but he walks slow and he's not theoretically a zombie. So I feel with enough firepower, I could just, especially where I live, it would not be hard to get something real big and powerful. I could just take off his torso.
Oh, fair enough. I don't fucking know. What's the name of the little fucking shit in Children in the Corn?
Oh, Malachi. Oh, no. Malachi's the other one.
No, Malachi's the redheaded mofo.
Yeah. I was thinking.
What's the other motherfucker? Little creepy looking fuck.
I know who he is.
Anyways, that fuck. Man, I just snap into his fucking neck like a twig. Do corn, this, that. Yeah. Shut the fuck up.
Well, thank you, Harry. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, thanks, buddy, man.
Hey, guys. Jack from Norfolk, Virginia here. Punisher 89 is the best. Dolph Lundgren had that dead inside thing that Arrow was talking about, and I dig that. Also, the bum. I don't think Punisher was good friends with him. I think it was the way cops treat informants. Hey, you got some info? Give it to me, kind of thing. Here's your $20 or your bottle of booze. And as far as the casino scene, it wasn't about a body count. It was about him saying, you ain't making money on my watch, motherfucker. And it's kind of like the Raw Deal casino scene. Fuck with their business, fuck with their money. That's what I get from it. Anyway, great show. Keep up the great work. And maybe y'all should cover Raw Deal sometime. Thanks.
Yo, Jack, thanks for calling in, leaving a message. And, thanks for appreciating our garbage. To address your message, Punisher dead inside, like you said, like I said. Fucking awesome. The thing about the bum, though, he's not friends, treats him like an informant. I agree. But he's trusting this man. Remember the scene where he's like, you got to press the detonator. He's trusting this man. Of course, he fucks up. He drops the fucking thing, tries to fucking get it through the fucking grill. I wouldn't trust a man who is lured by a bottle of booze on a fucking remote control car. So that's just me. And, on the show, Lance, Lance's 2 cents actually kind of clarified the slot machine, casino machines, whatever the fuck scene. For me, the entire time I always felt like I want to see a body count, but I'm seeing, slot machines get whacked. But I understand it now, and your perception of it is completely accurate. As for Raw Deal, fuck yeah, we're gonna cover it. Thanks, bro.
It's funny. You actually were just about Raw Deal at VidCon with me.
I know. I was talking about it a couple
days.
You're
just like, you realize I've seen Raw Deal. I was like, it's been a while, man. You're like, we should cover Raw Deal. I'm like, yeah, we should. It'd be fun. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think the only thing about the bum that I would fight even a little is that would work out more if he didn't take him to a Seward lair. It's like you don't bring April O'Neil down to the sewers unless you can trust her. But whatever. It's an 80s movie. And after the last rewatch, I probably liked Punisher 89 more than I liked it before.
Definitely.
Hey, last but not least is Mr. Adam. So let's rock this out and see what's going on.
Hey guys, first time caller, long time listener. My name's Adam, and I think 89 Punisher is probably the best out of all the video movies. Would love to see you guys cover the Netflix series at some point, starting with Daredevil season 2 if you can. Anyway, thanks.
I like 89 a lot more than I thought I did. I always liked it, but this rewatch, I liked it more.
It's fucking badass, bro.
I don't know where I would put it because they're all so different. But yeah, we said, I would like to discuss the show because I have varying opinions. I think it's very hot and cold personally, but it's also something I haven't seen since it first aired.
Wait a minute, dude. You've watched both seasons of the Punisher show on Netflix?
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that.
Again, I always say, but the Daredevil that I loved from Bernthal was Daredevil season 2. I thought that was the best version. When he's in the prison, he stabs him with a broomstick and has the skull covered in blood. I'm like, oh, that's the guy that I want.
This is what I know. Watching 89 again, and I watched the unrated version, by the way. There's also a work print, which I've never watched, but watching 89 again, it's tough for me between. You see, 89 gets the soulless Frank Castle and the 80s one-man army body count driven thingo, which I love. But I feel Thomas Jane's version, which is tonally uneven, the neighbors. Look at your fucking face. Yeah. But he gets the emotional part of it. Like that, again, that scene, at the end after he's finished, and the score, and he's got the gun, the wild turkey. Boom. There's not one moment like that in the Lundgren version. Like you feel it, man. Right here, bro. So I'm on the fence, man. I'm on the fence. In terms of the series, I've watched the 2 seasons, much like Lance. I loved it. I love Bernthal in the role. I like season 1 better than 2. I remember that, but I would have to revisit them. So you know what? It's not off the table. If you're going to do, Punisher on the Arrow on the Head show, we're going to have to get in the series now and again. So you down? You hip?
I've always been hip. Look at this pretty face.
Thanks for calling, Adam, man. Appreciate it, brother. So what about you guys and dolls? Fright Night, 1985. Are you a fan? Have you watched it recently? I keep asking the same shit. I got to come up with some new shit. Are you a fan? Do you think fucking Chris Sarandon is the fucking tits? Do you like the remake better? Sink your fangs into the comment below and let us know what's up. So that's it, man.
Until next time, buddy. I have nothing left of my old fashioned. I apologize, but
yeah, me too. As a great man once said,
It's empty.